Hello and welcome to Viewpoint Live. This is Mike from Velosio coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. I'm here as your host to bring you the hottest topics in cloud, digital transformation, IT security, ERP and CRM, and so much more. But before I forget, don't forget to like and subscribe wherever those buttons are on the YouTube or LinkedIn live here right now. You'll be able to get updates and notifications to all things going on at Velosio, but also get notified when we go live during our every other week live chats here on LinkedIn and YouTube Live. Now, today we are joined by Nick Mirgo from Avalara, where we'll explore some of the transformative impact of tax automation on businesses. We're also going to look at Avalara's strong presence in the Microsoft ecosystem, its benefits to customers, and we'll learn why tax automation is crucial and delve into the key findings of Avalara's Forrester Total Economic Impact report. Now, without further ado, I'd love to welcome Nick to the stage. Hey, Nick, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for asking, Michael, and thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Where are you calling from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, not a problem. So I'm calling from Houston, Texas. And for those of you probably witnessed, we got hit last week with a hurricane. That tends to be a hot topic lately. But yeah, I'm based in Houston. I'm a strategic alliance manager, which is a fancy way of saying I manage our partner relationships, both on the Microsoft channel, as well as some of our oil and gas, excise, vape, and tobacco customers. I jokingly tell people I like long walks on the beach. I'm an Aquarius, candlelight dinners, all those things as far as an introduction. But no, for the most part, I'm a relationship manager here at Avalara and look forward to talking to you as well as your guests.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And Nick, I'm going to jump right into it. Let's just talk a little bit about what Avalara is, what it's all about.
Sure. So most of your audience probably have heard the Avalara story, but for those that haven't, we're an organization that was born into the cloud, and the focus behind our organization was around tax automation and tax compliance. We realized that there was a way to leverage technology solutions and platforms through applications like CRM, ERPs, point of sales, and basically create an automation that helps organizations not only streamline a very complex process, tax, but also automate that process to help them focus on more important and critical scenarios in their lifestyles. So we just celebrated our 20th year anniversary. So happy birthday, Avalara. And for the most part, we are based in 13 countries, 23 offices, a little over 4,000 employees, and tax is in our DNA, really helping organizations become compliant through automation.
So why tax automation, and why is it so important for clients to pay attention to?
Yeah, that's a great question. I will tell you, I jokingly say that tax is kind of the redheaded stepchild in a lot of organizations. Either they have a very manual process with a team of accountants that are handling it and they're overworked and underpaid and stressed, or they leverage outside consulting firms, accounting firms to come in and help them during complex scenarios as far as an audit process. Back in the day, it used to be that you just set up your tax tables for products and services that you sold, and you set it and forget it. Nowadays, with tax holidays and changes in legislation and the governments, whether it's county, municipal, state, or federal, they're all looking at new ways as far as collecting some sort of tax revenue from you. And there's almost a guarantee that organizations are going to have a mistake or get it wrong. And in that process of doing that, it can cost them significantly. So we look at organizations like Velosio and our other partners to collaborate with them to help drive solutions within our mutual customer base to kind of drive that efficiency and eliminate a lot of those painful audits or compliance nightmares.
So one thing that I do just kind of want to mention is that for the Velosio client base, as well as anyone interested in partnering with Velosio, Avalara integrates with the products that Velosio supports, which includes all of the Microsoft Dynamics ERP products, including Business Central, Finance, and Supply Chain Management. Correct? Am I saying
that is correct?
Yeah. So just wanted to mention that as something that Avalara really specializes in is integrating into those ERPs that we support here at Velosio. And that's where our partnership has come together. And that's why, as you're talking about tax automation, the complexities of it, talking about how it's managed within those systems and where Avalara can help. So recently you came out with a Forrester Total Economic Impact Report, or TEI report. Can you tell us a little bit about this report and what the results were?
Sure. So I recognize I'm a biased employee that works for Avalara. So what we did is we have, over the last several years, commissioned a report from a third party, Forrester, to go in and interview and discuss specific economic impacts for a handful of our customers. And what they were looking at was clients that struggled to maintain current tax obligations. They're frustrated because of changing tax laws and jurisdictions. Maybe they're expanding into a new state, new country, new product and service that they're offering. And so kind of that nexus impact that would happen to their organization. And lots of times on the tax department, they're just left with the figure it out answer from a lot of these organizations. So from that standpoint, we said, let's leverage Forrester to go in and really drive kind of that economic impact. Are we driving efficiency? Are we increasing revenue? Are we reducing risk? A lot of those key metrics that companies look at when they're looking at buying technology solutions.
So what are some of the sort of, return on investment finding, the key takeaways from the report that came out of it that companies might be able to expect?
Sure. Another great question. So what we really focused on was 5 key impacts. For the most part, our tax solution reduces or avoids 510 manual hours annually in filing taxes, managing, streamlining returns from that aspect. For companies that come back and say, well, we're tax exempt, you still have to maintain your tax exemption certificates. And we found that those organizations were saving on average 416 hours annually. Organizations that are going to get, it's one of those things we always say, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you face an audit. But organizations that were leveraging our solution gained an 85% efficiency in their audit preparation. So reporting tools, finding those needles in the haystack, those specific transactions that an auditor may be looking to trip you up on. One of the biggest impacts is that we're eliminating the spending on third-party experts, tax experts, to come in and do a sales tax audit of about $150,000 annually. Okay. And lastly, one of the things from our tax research tool we found is that customers were able to save about 384 hours annually. So when you go back to the kind of those key metrics of driving efficiency, reducing risk, helping the company grow revenue, we hit on a lot of those key areas and focus.
This is really great stuff. This is really cool, being able to grab that outside sort of agency to look in and say, hey, is this working? And you see the results and you see the proof. I think that, a lot of clients and customers might be asking themselves, hey, well, I want to look at that a little bit more before I start evaluating what tax automation software they may want. Where can they find a copy of this report?
Sure. I'm more than happy to share a link where they can go in and they can download it. It'll ask for some contact information, your name, your email, and your phone number. And I can share that as far as in the chat. But also you can reach out to your Velosio sales rep and ask them as far as getting in touch with an Avalara contact, and we can certainly work with you specifically. The Forrester report offers kind of a general overview, but we can even get granular down to basically your organization and some of the specific hours or efficiencies we can draw. Because lots of times when customers are looking at buying technology, they want to create a business case. And I find this is a great source to use as creating that business case on why are we moving to an automated solution like Avalara or a partner like Velosio.
Absolutely. What would you say, are there any advice or next steps you'd recommend to our listeners after they've downloaded this report?
Sure. I would certainly encourage them to reach out to their Velosio sales rep and ask them about, this information. Other things too, is I always encourage them, think internally, what are you doing as an organization around your growth, your tax automation? Because in the grand scheme of it, it might be a scenario where we can help in a small way or we can help in big ways. But lots of times companies look at internally what are their current processes, and they'll realize right out of the gate, we're not compliant as far as our tax scenarios, our tax requirements, and we are playing with a big risk of possibly getting audited somewhere down the road. The only other third thing that I would possibly recommend is we have a complimentary Nexus study that we offer to a lot of our clients. What it does is it basically takes a look at your organization. It looks at the products and services that you sell, and it tells you whether you have a risk or not. Think of it like a health check. And it's complimentary. We offer that to the Velosio customer base, and it's a good place to start as far as taking a look at your organization and evaluating your risks.
Sure. Well, Nick, I don't have any more questions for you. I really appreciate you talking a little bit about Avalara, how it can help our Velosio clients, as well as the Forrester TEI report, which was really interesting. I really highly recommend anybody listening, make sure to download that, check that out, and see where Avalara fits into your Microsoft Dynamics ERP system. We'll make sure to get the link to that into the chat on LinkedIn. So, Nick, we can have you post that there. And if anybody has any other questions, I'm sure that Nick is open to LinkedIn direct messages and contact there. But also, if anyone's interested in integrating Avalara into your Microsoft Dynamics ERP, you can also contact insider@velosio.com. We get just somebody that can help as soon as possible. Nick, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for being a guest on Velosio Viewpoint Live this week. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, make sure to like and subscribe wherever that button is on LinkedIn or YouTube Live here. We'll see everybody in a couple of weeks. Thanks again, Nick.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael.